Hi there, my name is Ron Rogers, and this presentation is titled Rental Homes. I think this one was cursed. It may actually even have been haunted, and I'll tell you about that in a second. You know the Netflix series Look Away, Tale of Woe? Well, this isn't as bad as the Hollywood one down in Daytona Beach, but it's kind of interesting. This house was, until I bought the duplex that was built in 1910, was the oldest house I owned. It was built in 1968, and old houses have certain issues with them. I mean, it was a nice house, but every window you see in there, I ended up having to replace because they were just basically old. Now, I did a lot of work in it. It had a nice wood floor in the living room, but it had been badly stained, and there was no way to get that out. So we ended up putting carpet on it. Kind of unfortunate because it had nice wood flooring. The bedrooms were good, and I was able to preserve them, but there had been a lot of damage to the doors and that. The people I bought this from were going through a divorce. And I think that probably contributed to a lot of bad karma in the house because that's the way it seemed. Because this is my unluckiest house of all the homes that I have owned for rental property. Buying from a divorced couple, usually you get a pretty good deal because they just want to be done with it and out of there. And the house was dated. It needed a lot of work, a lot of very not good looking wallpaper, but we got all that out. Now, the front room also had a lot of wallpaper all over it there, and got that removed, got it painted, looked pretty nice. A lot of wallpaper in the kitchen, got all that removed. That's a mess to get that removed and the walls cleaned up to paint, but it was a lot of work, got it done. Fortunately, the wood floors up in the bedrooms were in good condition. I was able to refinish those. Had to do that several times with tenants. They wood floors and tenants aren't the best example because they don't pick up beds and they scrape them and they kind of make a mess with the floor. So carpeting might be a better choice, but I've had carpeting in my house for 20 years and it looks fine. I would go through so much carpeting in these rental houses. The people just didn't take care of it. And then they would move out and just leave trash. Now, here's the thing that if you're going to be successful in real estate, you need to run it as a business, not as a charity. And I knew that. Okay. Trouble is, I've got a little bit of a soft spot in my heart, and I listen to people's sob stories and why their credit is bad and all stuff like that. And I ended up, okay, I'll give you a chance. Well, I've given chances to 7 people. Only one of them has been worth it, where they actually did something with themselves and turned around. The others just, I'd say they really took advantage of me, or there was a reason they had bad credit. They just didn't respect the property. They're supposed to leave it broom clean. You know, it would take a pretty big broom to get rid of all of this. There was just crap. These people left 2 sofas in the house, an elliptical, and just bags of trash everywhere. And, I allow pets. Well, I'm starting to rethink of that. Look at this door here with the red arrow. They would lock the dog in the room there, and it actually chewed the bottom of the door to get out. And of course, this is all the crud they left in the bedroom. And interesting, I noticed it when I was repainting the walls. Started to apparently the son who had this room use the wall for BB gun practice because there were all sorts of little dents in the wall the size of BBs. Who shoots a BB gun? Oh, I need to tell you about this family. This was my last family. The police knew him very well. In fact, the police were very acquainted with my house through several of my tenants, which is a wonderful story. The father and the mother, they often would take one or the other off to jail. One of the kids brought a gun to school and closed down the school and got expelled for that. The other one used in one of his textbooks that they were supposed to turn in when they left. He left it there, and he used as a bookmark a citation for possession of marijuana. These were all minors and stuff. Yeah, really good family. Now, and the funny thing about these people is they had been living in the previous house that they lived in for 8 years, and their landlord gave them a glowing report. And they move into my house 3 years later. Ah, what a mess. And they put the dog in the bathroom, and it didn't like the bathroom either. And every door in the house was damaged. I had to replace every single interior door. And why do you treat property like that? And here is the uh, room clean remains. So I made a lot of trips to the dump. People left a lot of stuff on the sidewalk. So I clean it up again, get it nice, get it all painted, new carpeting, get the kitchen looking nice, put the house back on the market, get the windows all redone, nice drapes. All right, these people. They came with a good report also. And that was kind of interesting. I would get some people that they would come with a series of collections against them. And the trouble with, I never took the renters to court to try to collect back rent. And this lady ended up owing me about $6,000 in back rent, not counting the damage that she did to the house and all the trash left. She ended up with $6,000 in back rent, and the judges are not favorable to landlords in Illinois, and my attorney who was doing the eviction made a procedural error. He filed the papers one day too early, and the judge threw it out. Well, that cost me another $1,600 in rent because we were back there next month, evicting her all over again. And of course, the trash just goes on and on. And here's more of the same. Now, it finally came to the point where I got an eviction notice against her, and she's going to be evicted. Okay. Well, she said, could she stay to the end of the month because she had found another house, and it was a house in the next town over, and the guy never called me for a reference, which I thought was amazing. And I thought, boy, you're going to be in for fun because this lady was kind of crazy. And she said, she said in front of the judge, she's pleading and all this stuff. Could I possibly have to the end of the month? And I said, oh, okay, fine. So I'll give you to the end of the month. So I call her up and say, hey, could I come and look at the house to see what work I may need to be done? And she starts yelling at me over the phone, if you come near me, I'll get an order of protection against you and stuff like that. And previous to this, I had been in the yard, and her son comes running at me with his fist raised to attack me. And she says, stop, stop. He's older than your grandfather. And the kid stopped. And I thought, well, you don't have to be insulting about it. But I go, real estate property can be very interesting. We were all set with the sheriff to move her out. And the night before, she finally got her stuff out. Of course, there's lots of damage. I mean, who just writes on everything with magic markers? Who puts a solvent on a banister rail and damages the material? And of course, the other thing about having an older rental house, now, like I said, I had to replace all of the windows, all of the doors, and the drainage system wasn't in good shape, and it collapsed, and that was a $3,000 repair. So this is the fun of real estate investment. All right, got that taken care of, got that cleaned up, and got the house looking nice again. New windows, new drapes. Again, cleaned it up. Got rid of the garbage. Finally got her out. And all in all, $30,000 from start to begin to end on various maintenance items on this house. I bought it for $188, and I sold it for $190. And then, of course, see, here's the problem, and this is when you buy real estate, you want to buy it from a don't-wanter, somebody who wants to get rid of it. You don't want to become that, but sometimes you can. And I became a not-wanter in this house, and the market had recovered enough, and I said, I've had it. This thing seems like it's cursed. I've had two different tenants ask me if I knew it was haunted, which I had not heard anything about that. I thought about asking the lady next door because she had been the original owner of the house and she built a house next door. But I never got around to posting that question to her. But anyway, of course, I sell it, and immediately the price starts to go up according to Zillow. But I sold it. It's a nice house. Somebody now has a nice house. The surrounding people there, they were very nice people. I got to know them fairly well, and they would tell me stories about my tenants. And I think they are probably now very glad that this house is owned by a private individual, lady, and won't have to worry about these tenants anymore. So anyway, that's another story of dread there. I've got a few that are going to follow here that are my good stories then. But these, I'm getting the tales of woe out of the way first here so you can see how fun rental properties can be and certain mistakes that at least I made and hopefully you won't. Anyway, thanks for listening.